With that, Carrie, is there any additions or anything to change in the agenda?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, with that, I'll look for someone to adopt it as presented. Councillor Hofford, thank you very much. Okay, moved by Councillor Hofford. Any discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Okay, moving on. We have the minutes from the September 9th regular council meeting. Ed, what did you think of the minutes from September 9th? They were good? Yeah, they're just fine. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Moved by Councillor Armagost to move the September 9th minutes as presented. Any discussion on that? Not hearing any, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, that's carried unanimously. Okay, moving on to the CAO report. Carrie, how are things going?
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple updates. As you've seen in CO report, the contract number 1 for the Central Peace Regional Water Project is going well. They've got 10 of their 14 loads for the Trestle Bridge in now. They expect the rest, I believe, this week. So they'll be moving on to starting to assemble that piece of the project.
Cool.
So that's really looking really good. I think
Yep.
I believe they finished the final holes, right, for the 90-foot wet well.
Awesome.
All the concrete's in now. So they'll start the excavating next to dig out that 90-foot hole. So it's all progressing really well. I'm still waiting on fiber optics. Sent her an email yesterday to come to council. Nurse practitioner, I have a meeting interview tomorrow morning at 9 for a potential candidate. So hopefully she actually lives in the county. So hopefully
awesome.
That's going to work out. Her meeting with Palvy and her tomorrow morning.
I don't know. That's awesome.
Yeah. So she lives on Highway 2 between, on the way to County Grand Prairie there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So nice local person if it works out. Elections well underway. As you know, nominations closed yesterday at noon. Candidates have until noon today to withdraw their name if they don't want to run. So it'll be official at noon today who's the actual candidates running in the election.
Awesome.
Okay. I reached out to the County of Grand Prairie as far as the Spring Lake Ski Hill, and we had a question for them if they don't mind having their logo combined with the Ski Hill Association and ourselves, and they have no problem with it. So it's whether council wants to give us further direction on location of the sign, type of sign, that kind of thing. County Grand Prairie is fine with partnering on those logos. Other than that, Madam Chair, if you have any questions for staff, they're all here today, and thank you.
Okay. Councillor Klatt.
Okay, first of all, Carrie, thank you very much for responding to the water line letter that came in so promptly. I do have a couple of questions on the water line that is south of the Hamlin Creek. Now, the permit was applied for in 2024. There hasn't been any approval yet. How does that fall within the Alberta red tape reduction plan? Like, can you go after them for that? Because, over a year to get approval to go across the Hamlin or under the Hamlin seems a little bit excessive. And my understanding is the people that are north of the Hamlin already have the water. The ones south of the Hamlin, they have the water lines into their houses. In many cases, they just can't get hooked up to the water.
Yeah, Mr. Polensky can add to this for me, but I know my understanding is part of the issue initially was there was a leaseholder that was holding up the process through discussion with Alberta Environment. They had to get their approval to cross the lease, farm lease. Then there's we ran into Indigenous consultations, and they were held up for quite some time due to fires. They weren't responding to any requests for consultations. That was part of the delay as well. And then you can add to that, Ron?
Yeah, just on the grazing lease through Crown Land, the leaseholders has to sign off on the easement location. And that was a real challenge on that one. He didn't want to agree to where the line was going, so he held it up for probably 6-7 months till we finally agreed on something. And then like Kerry said, the First Nation consultation, once the fires started in the spring, they shut down all consultations till after they were back in their homes.
So those consultations are ongoing? Like
They're
they
complete
are?
now.
Okay,
They're complete, and now it's in front of Environment for their approval.
okay.
So it wasn't all environment's problems, there's other issues in there.
Okay,
Sort of similar to that issue we had on Bonanza where we were discussing expropriation and that delayed that process for quite a while for a couple individual ratepayers out that way. And I believe that's gone through now, right?
That's correct.
That's gone through
He's
now.
now signed.
So the one that we were looking at expropriation, the landowner didn't eventually sign off on that. That delayed that for quite some time as well.
and are you getting any indication from public lands or Parks and Lands when they might approve the permit?
When we do our monthly meetings with them on last Thursday, she said it's top on her list to look at.
Okay, well, thank you.
Councillor Hoffert.
Just want to thank Ron and Kerry for looking after our roads that the local oil company kind of screwed up. They were maintaining the roads because of the rig, and yeah, it wasn't good. There's gravel in the ditch, there's waves, there wasn't washboard on the highway, there was waves, so they got after that and it got cleaned up. And yeah, thank you. For this sign thing, Kerry, how do we go about doing that? Do we make a motion now, or do we do that into our meeting here, or what do you want to do?
Oh, you could do a motion now if you want. I know that, location is probably, where is it one sign?
Should
There
we
is-
maybe just wait till the next meeting and then have some information on that, or?
Yeah, we'd have to probably reach out to the Ski Hill Association just to
Okay.
get their feedback on location and what their thoughts were. And
Okay, well, maybe we'll just wait and put that
I
on the
think-
agenda for next.
Why don't you make a motion for them to bring back information regarding types of signs and locations to the next council meeting?
Yeah.
And then it'll for sure be on there and
Okay.
they'll have that direction.
Man, I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes. And locations. You said you're gonna reach out to the Ski Hill, because we were discussing that at our last meeting, where these things had to go. Okay,
I think it should say for signage at the Spring Lake Ski Hill, cause I think it'll be more than a sign. I'm
yes,
thinking it'll be like a big sign plus maybe some direction signs or something, right, as
yes,
well?
I think they were talking about that, and I
Yeah.
can't remember how many they said, so.
Yeah, so I think just signage is,
I think there's one or two existing signs that might have just somebody like a blue thing with somebody with skis on their feet or something.
Yeah.
There's a few of those.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that, because they did say she had, I'm pretty sure they said they had talked to Ron about that too, and he had mentioned a couple different signs, so, yeah, if we can get that information from them, then we can pass this. Great,
okay.
thank you.
Any discussion on this motion? Counselor Clark, no? Okay. With that, I'll call a question, all in favor. Okay, it's carried unanimously. Counselor Clark, did you have were you done, Don?
Yes.
Okay, Counselor Clark, do you have another comment?
Okay, I had someone approach me, and the one day that we did have rain, they were out getting water, and they were wondering if there's any chance of getting a overhang shelter over the keypad when you're filling up with potable water. I see it is there for the jugs, but it isn't for the other.
I don't know.
Well, here. I don't know if the rest are like that or not, but I know
Yeah.
here, there is no overhang for,
Yeah.
when you punch in to get potable water.
Like, Ron, I know that there's some issues about where the sun's shining east and west sometimes. It makes it difficult to read the screen, but I think Ron can update. We've looked at this before.
Yeah, so we created a platform so they could be a little higher so the sun doesn't get in their eyes, but we didn't build any kind of cover that keeps them out of the rain. But if council wants us to consider that, you can make a motion and we'll bring it to the budget, 2026 budget.
Yes, I'd like to make the motion to administration look into the feasibility of putting an overhang to protect the, I don't know what you call it, the Chuckville keypad at the county.
Do you want
Treatment
like
site.
all 4 locations or?
Do any of them have it? I don't know.
No.
No,
Okay,
No.
I guess at all 4 locations then.
Good, wouldn't it? But it probably is not worthy of airtime, so.
It would be similar to what was over the Jugfill.
And do you want to say, and bring to 2026 budget deliberations?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion on that? With that, I'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried unanimously. I'm just hoping it rains, so we need that.
Yeah.
I know, it was the one time it rained.
Wouldn't that
and
be
the
cool?
person was out there.
Wouldn't that be lovely? Okay, anything else out of the CAO report?
Okay, I do have one more thing related to the water.
Okay,
The wastewater, what, in the non-potable filtered water, what chemicals could possibly be in there? If, people wanted to use it for, horses or whatever. Is there anything any extra chemicals added or that are still in that wastewater?
Well, there's no chlorine added in the non-potable water section.
Okay.
It's gone through the treatment process where the chemicals are added to knock out the solids. So I don't believe anything's left in there, but I'd have to discuss that with our water treatment staff, see if they did any testing of it, but it's, my understanding, there's nothing in it.
Okay, thank you.
okay. I have a few comments, but I'll leave them for councilor's report. More lines with that. Okay, so with that, I will look, thank you. Moved by Deputy Reeve Hubert.
Okay.
Moved by Deputy Reeve Hubert to the CAO report for information. Okay, with that, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, that's carried unanimously. We have a delegation at 9:30 and a couple public hearings, but we'll move on to 7.1, and as time comes along, we'll skip back. Okay, road construction request for Tourmaline.
thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Polinsky will present.
Thanks.
Thank you. So we have a road construction request from Tourmaline on the undeveloped road allowance of Range Road 83 to access a pad site. So this was before council previously where they wanted to be adjacent to the road allowance and didn't meet the setback requirements. So council denied that request. So now they're requesting to construct part of that road on the undeveloped road allowance on Range Road 83, which is south of Township 782 on Happy Valley Road. So I've attached a map and their request for council's consideration. So our options is to allow them to construct the road as per the permit and for them to maintain it. Or option 2 is construct it and for the county to maintain it. So of course, if they maintain it, there's no cost to the county other than an inspection once a year. If we maintain it, there's cost for gravel and graders and stuff like that. But it'd be hard to access because we'd have to go through Tourmaline's access road to get to this chunk of road. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Richard.
Yeah, just like you stated, Ron, it'd be hard for the county to get there, so I'd like to move with option one.
Okay. Okay, with option one, they have to construct and maintain it. And it'll be classified as a farm access, maintained by industry. Okay, with that, any discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, that's carried unanimously. Okay, moving on to proposed amendments to bylaw 425.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. So bylaw 425, 2024, the carbon capture tax incentive bylaw. We currently have a ratepayer who's been approved for this incentive, and it's Advantage Energy. Entropy Incorporated was the company that originally installed the 2 carbon capture facilities at the Advantage Energy gas plant south of the county, south end of the county. And now Entropy is building a large carbon capture facility on that site, and they'll be reclaiming the 2 original ones that they had put in place. The new facility will be owned by Entropy Inc. and on the Advantage Energy site. So in speaking, council's direction back on July 22nd was that we bring forward an RFD, request for decision regarding this bylaw, to consider some proposed amendments. So we had a series of discussions with Entropy. And so some of the proposals that are in the agenda today are primarily put forward because the original facility was owned by Advantage, so we were able to, the language in the bylaw allowed for council to improve an incentive.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case here, moving forward, that facility will be owned by Entropy Inc.
Okay.
And the current bylaw has language in it that the owner of the carbon capture facility would be eligible after year 5 to continue 100% exemption if their assessment, their base assessment in the county increased by 10% over incremental 5-year periods. So in the first 5 years, they get 100%. Years 6 to 10, they would continue with 100% if their gross assessment in the county increased by at least 10%.
Yeah.
And in years 11 to 15, it would continue at 100% if it then increased another 10% over
Yes.
year 10. And so in this case here, the Entropy, the company that installs these carbon capture facilities, is not in a position to increase their assessment in the county like Advantage would have been able.
Yeah.
So the language in the proposed amendments is considering that where the carbon capture facility is installed, it would be contingent on extending the exemption into those further years based on the assessment increase of the incumbent ratepayer where it's being installed. So in other words, if we approve some amendments to the bylaw, it would allow for Entropy to continue the exemption as long as Advantage Energy, the base facility, continues at that 10% incremental assessment increase. So that's one of the key proposed amendments
Yeah.
for council to consider. The other ones were, we had language in there that the incentive would be eliminated if the carbon capture or carbon tax was eliminated.
Yes.
But in the case of this type of scenario, the beneficiary of that carbon tax elimination would be Advantage, not Entropy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're proposing changes to take out that condition
Yeah.
because it would be the CCUS company, that carbon capture company, that would be the eligible exemption person. So the carbon capture wouldn't be applicable to them. They're not eligible for a carbon capture or a carbon tax, sorry.
Yeah.
Other than that, we cleaned up some of the language just for some, grammatical stuff. And that's the main two proposals, besides some of the language tweaks, so for council to consider. We just edited the current bylaw. We didn't bring a new bylaw. We just showed what it would look like if council wants to consider these amendments. And if you want to direct us to bring forward a new bylaw to reflect these proposals. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of proposed changes. I think that they're necessary in order to make sure that the bylaw achieves the same goal that we initially had wanted it to achieve. With that, does someone want it brought to the next council meeting for bylaw approval? Councilor Roy? Sure. Thank you so much. For 2024. Deputy Reeve Hubert?
I guess I'm just wondering what everybody thinks about this carbon tax going away thing. I mean, I understand that it's two different individuals.
What's your concern that if the,
I mean, that was the basis of this whole thing, right? Was that
yes,
to offset the carbon tax?
yes. So if the carbon tax goes away, this goes away.
Well, what the change will make it that this won't go away if the carbon tax goes away, right?
No,
Am I mistaken?
Yeah, so if they eliminate the industrial carbon tax, the exemption would not be nullified. The incentive would not be nullified if the industrial carbon tax went away.
Because two different people own the carbon tax will get going away would benefit Advantage.
Yeah, the Advantage Energy would no longer have to pay the carbon tax, but by virtue of the company who's installing that equipment, they would not be subject to the carbon tax. So it's a mute thing if the bylaws changed, that the carbon tax wouldn't be applicable to the company constructing the carbon capture underground storage facility. So it wouldn't, it's kind of a mute point to have it in the bylaw by virtue of it not having any effect on that entity.
thank you for the clarification.
Do we like that it won't go away? Should it cut in half, or I'm just wondering what you all think. Maybe it's fine that it won't go away, but I mean, the whole purpose of us doing it was
To offset.
offset the carbon tax, right? And so if the carbon tax goes away, which I don't really see happening, but it could go away by a change of name, because I think carbon tax is kind of like a 4-letter word. They could change the name and still be a,
Yeah, still do the same thing. Yeah, Carrie?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So when this new facility is constructed, and they've already started construction, the tax, the assessment and taxes on the actual carbon capture infrastructure will be paid by Entropy Inc., not Advantage Energy. And their business model doesn't allow for them, it'll create a loss on the investment, basically. The taxes on that investment that they're making. And that's why they've always, they've been approaching council over the last couple of years for that consideration of that, that exemption. So, yeah, that's where their angle and their proposal's coming from.
Councillor Armagost, do you have a comment?
Hey, yeah, so the, tax incentive is only on the equipment that's required for carbon capture. So, what they're proposing is that even if they have to, they shut that stuff down, that there's no taxes on it then, right? Like, the incentive still stays in place, but that's only on the equipment they've installed. And then it's no longer necessary, because if you don't
You're not being
legally,
taxed on carbon.
you know, have to capture the carbon.
Yeah,
So like, you know, it's not on production equipment. Production equipment will stay fully taxed 100%, so. I can see the Entropy's, reasoning is that they don't want to have to be paying taxes on stuff that isn't, necessary, right?
yeah,
Even if they still use it, like they might.
yeah.
And their comment was that it's not producing revenue.
No, they're not producing revenue, and if we're still taxing it, then, you know, that's a thought that they have to put into it. 'Cause they can't trust that they'll always have to need it. But it's a small portion of the actual production equipment. It's not, there's a huge reason for doing this, because it'll increase the investment in actual production equipment.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this.
Okay. Councillor Hoffert?
So are they saying if we don't give them this tax incentive break that they were not gonna build this?
They didn't say that.
Okay, so with that, there's a motion on the floor. Councillor Roy. With not hearing any more discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, it's carried unanimously. Okay, we have a delegation here for 9:30. Mr. Greg LaValle. Welcome. You can sit right there, Justine. I'll help you just get set up. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll just turn it on here so you can
Oh, okay, thanks.
start going.
Yes, my name is Greg LaValle. I'm hoping to get help with the access down to my property at the Brayburn Station I bought back in 2012 at Southeast 2975 5 west of the 6th. I built my home there in 2012. I was divorced in 2014 and we sold our house in Bezanson in 2015. And I moved into that cabin in 2015. And I lived there until 3 years ago. I injured my shoulder splitting firewood, and I could no longer live down there and look after myself. So I bought a house in Wanham, and I lived there for 3 years. And I sold it here in June because I figured I was healed up enough that I could go back and forth with my quad. But I'm finding out when you're 70, you don't quite heal up as fast as they say you do. So I was hoping to get my the access down there just leveled out and smoothed out enough for a vehicle, because I struggle getting my quad back and forth down there with the muscles tore off my shoulder. So I think it'd be quite a bit easier for me to drive a pickup or a Jeep or something down there. And I've talked to one operator that was in the construction business, and he took a look at it and he said, truly all you need is a grader for a couple days to just make a slight grade and make it just so that water drains out of the low spots and you don't have to drive through and rut everything up. He said about 2 days of that, you'd probably have a pretty good driveway. Put gravel maybe in the low spots. I'd like to do it with as least damage or changing anything as possible. Like even if there's a low spot, just to dump some gravel in it so that I don't want to really put culverts in. I don't want a high grade road down there. I mean, everybody will drive down to my property and then look around. But if it's just passable with a pickup, I think, especially now that I have I have a rural address, I think people will realize that that's just a dead end and stay out of it, you know? So that's what I'm hoping for. I've been down there for 6 years, lived down there by myself for 6 full years, and asked a couple times if I could get some help with that, and I'm hoping this time maybe I could get enough help just to make it easier on me to be able to live down there. It's my only home.
Okay. So do you own the land there?
Yes, it was the old Brayburn Railroad siding.
Oh, okay, so you
and I
own the
bought it
siding.
from Robert Vetch in
Okay,
Bezanson.
yeah. Okay, well, we will talk about your request later on in the meeting, and we will be getting back to you.
Thank you.
I'm sure, and if we have any more questions or anything, administration will get back to you with any more clarification with what we need, but I think we have everything that we need to talk about it later on in the meeting.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, you will be hearing back from us. Okay, with that, we'll move on to 7.3 draft bylaw 457.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. So administration is bringing forward draft bylaw 457, 2025, the master rates bylaw. At the September 9th council meeting, council asked us to add in some new rates for gravel sales from the Silver Valley Pit up at Quintillion. So administration is bringing forward proposals, that proposal in the draft bylaw. And it's on page 5 of the draft bylaw,
You betcha.
where we've added in those four new amounts, $10 for pit run, $10 for reject sand, and $22 for 3/4 inch and inch and a half gravel.
Perfect.
And I'm looking to see if council wants to consider doing 3 readings today. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. So we discussed this at the last meeting. Councillor Armagost,
I'll move for first reading.
thank you. Any discussion on that? Did you have a comment on that, or were you wanted to move next? Okay, sounds good. Okay, with that, Dawn, do you have a comment on this?
Yes, it's still only when the county equipment is there, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, with that, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, and then would someone like to move second reading? Deputy Hubert. Thank you. Moved by Deputy Hubert. Any discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, with that, would someone like to move consideration for third reading be given? Councillor Roy?
Yes, I can move that, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Moved by Councillor Roy. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried unanimously. So it's who would like to move third reading? Councillor Hofford? Thank you. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor on third reading? Okay, that's passed. Thank you, everybody. We will move on to the 2025 Northern Alberta Tourism Summit sponsorship.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. So there's a request for a sponsorship for the Mighty Peace Tourism, from Mighty Peace Tourism for the 2025 Northern Alberta Tourism Summit. It's being held November 17th to 18th in Grand Prairie. They did supply some sponsorship opportunities in their proposal. And I don't know if we have them handy here in the agenda, but there's 4 here. There's a Trailblazer for $15,000, Adventure for $7,500, Rejuvenator for $2,500, and Free Spirit for $500. Council wants to consider sponsoring the event. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So Councillor Hofford, you're on this board. What are your thoughts?
Well, I would like to do the Rejuvenator and make sure that you have somebody that's gonna attend it, because, oh, am I looking at Monica? Okay, but yeah, as far as counselor goes, because I won't be here.
Okay, so you want to sponsor a rejuvenator?
Yes, please.
So I have a motion on the floor to purchase the rejuvenator sponsorship package. Ooh. Okay, motion by Counselor Hoffert. Any discussion on that? Not hearing any, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, it's carried unanimously. Moving on to the August 2025 monthly budget variance report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mrs. Daly will present.
Awesome. Hello, Mrs. Daly.
Pardon me?
I can't call it in again?
Son was getting married.
Oh, very exciting. Very exciting.
In reviewing this report, there's very little out of the ordinary from the last report, just day-to-day business. So I didn't have anything that really stuck out that I wanted to comment on. Do you have any questions?
Anybody want to interrogate Mrs. Daly? Deputy Hubert?
I'd like to move.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate once again the information and keeping council up to date on where our budgets are at and how things are coming along. It's great information and keeps everyone up to date and any residents that are interested in seeing where we're at. So it's good communication. So thank you. Okay, with that, we have a motion from Deputy Hubert, and I'll call the question. All in favor? Excellent, that's carried unanimously. Okay, offer to convert inactive Pooskoopi number 3 site into a recreation area.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Daly, will present.
Thanks. Hello, Bryce, how's it going?
Good morning, thank you. So this is known as the old Dill River stockpile site. It's on Range Road 801, just as it crosses the Poos. It's on the east side and on the north side of the Range Road.
Yeah.
It was last mined in 1976 and last used as a stockpile site in 1986. And it's since pretty much been reclaimed. In our monthly environment meetings, it's come up from time to time over the last couple of years. That they've offered it to the county if we wanted to use it for recreation, since there's signs that people have been using it for like a campsite or some recreation. There are some trails there that weren't there at the time it was last used. So there are people going in and using the site. If they were to continue that, they would encourage to put up some signage, maybe some waste receptacles and things like that, so people kind of follow some rules rather than just boondock. If we were to look at that, we would recommend going with a feasibility survey first. And what we would propose is if we would put up a sign there with a QR code and a link to using your smartphone where you could answer, there's 8 questions, for example, that we put a sample of that survey there. Or if they didn't have a smartphone, they could actually go right through our website, our webpage, and enter a survey that way. If they were to, if we weren't going to do anything and the province decided that, well, no, they didn't want to have illegal or unauthorized activity there, they would have to remove access, which would be a lot of work, impractical to remove the trail that's gone in there. But anyway, we thought it's time we bring it to council, see what you guys think. Thank you.
So I myself have taken my kids down there actually, and we've gone and played in the Poos River, and we kind of take the truck and kind of half off road and park alongside there and then walk down and play on the Poos along the riverbank, and the kids swim and stuff. It's actually quite a pretty spot, and it's pretty sandy actually, and some of that along the edge. It's a beautiful spot. I think that if the province is offering it to us, I think it would be a great little asset. I think there's actually quite a few people that do use it and stuff, and it's quite nice. That's my thoughts anyways. I think absolutely if do a feasibility study, it doesn't cost anything to kind of get some input from people and it's good timing with budget coming up and different things and the information will be back for the next council to make a decision on where they see it should go. Councillor Roy.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. I'd actually, move option one, Madam Chair, if you'd like.
Thank you. Councillor Halford.
Well, it does look like there's a butcher site there, but how much cleanup is gonna be involved? I mean, you don't have to tell me now, as long as you have that in the next, what it's gonna cost to clean it up so we can get it to where we'd like it and keep it.
Yeah, the transportation report shows that there has been some dumping, that's right along the range road. If you go back in there, there isn't signs that they've been doing, further dumping deeper in.
Okay, thanks.
What? Ron?
Yeah, with our meetings with Marlene from Transportation, they would do all the cleanup of what's required to pass it on to us.
Okay.
So one other thing, it's nice in that slide area that we have a place to place all this soil that slowly comes off that hill. So we would keep it landscape, but it would serve two purposes, not only recreation, but a close spot to place some soil.
Deputy Reeve Hubert?
So the water isn't there, it's just up along the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Means we don't have liability in the water.
No, we wouldn't have liability on the water or anything, right? Like we just own the land, not the water.
That's correct. You don't own anything in the water, so you would just have, just like any campground, just a land part.
Excellent. I think offering more recreation, the better. Yeah, Councillor Armagost.
Yeah, I think it is really important to consider a place to deposit that dirt that gets cleaned up. I worked on that road years ago and the dirt's gonna be sliding there for 100 years. So there'll be a lot of dirt come off of those two hills, so I think that's important to consider. So anyway, I'm in favor.
Sounds good. Okay, so with that, I will call the question on Councillor Roy's motion. All in favor? Councillor Richard, do you want to vote on that? It's all good. Okay, it's carried unanimously. Okay, let's take a couple minutes and we'll come back and get set up for the 2 public hearings, okay? Public hearing for bylaw 454, 2025 road closure bylaw on September 23rd, 2025. So the public hearing for bylaw 454, 2025 road closure bylaw will now come to order at 10:01 a.m. For anyone attending online, if you have registered prior to the meeting, we have you on the list to speak. If you do not register prior to the meeting, you will have to raise your hand, and when given the opportunity, we will turn on your mic for you to speak. We remind all people attending virtually to please state your name prior to speaking to be recorded in the minutes. We would also like to announce that the audio of our council meetings and public hearings is now live streamed. Was the public hearing properly advertised?
Yes, Madam Chair, it was advertised and posted in September 2nd, September 9th, September 16th, 2025 issues of the Central Peace Signal, as well on the county website and social media.
Thank you very much. Okay, bylaw 454, 2025 road closure bylaw. Will Mr. Merritt outline the proposed bylaw 454, 2025 road closure bylaw and present this submission?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So on August 26th, council gave first reading to bylaw 454, 2025 road closure bylaw. Prior to proceeding with second and third readings, a public hearing must be held, and then the bylaw will require approval from the Minister of Transportation and Economic Corridors prior to receiving second reading. The public hearing for bylaw 454, 2025 road closure bylaw was scheduled for today. The bylaw is proposing to close a portion of Range Road 80 north of an existing lease that was previously canceled. The description is in the proposed road closure bylaw that did receive first reading. A written submission was received from Mike Richard regarding this bylaw and has been included in the agenda.
Perfect. Does council have any questions regarding the proposed bylaw 454, 2025? Okay, not hearing any. Were there any written submission received in regards to the proposed bylaw 454, 2025?
Yes, Madam Chair, and as mentioned, it's included in the agenda for
Okay,
today's
so-
public hearing.
So everyone would have had an opportunity to read them as included in the agenda?
That's correct.
Perfect, thank you. Is there anyone present who would like to speak in favor of the proposed bylaw 454, 2025? Does anyone want to speak in favor? Okay. Is there anyone present online who would like to speak in favor of the proposed bylaw 454, 2025? No? Okay. Is there anyone present who would like to speak against the proposed bylaw 454, 2025? Okay. Can one at a time, so whoever would like to go first may come up to the mic and speak. Everyone will get their opportunity. So if we could just have you guys state your names, and then you can present what you would like to.
I'm not sure if the microphone is on.
It is.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, Madam Chair and councillors. My name is Bill McElhenney. I'm a lawyer with Ackroyd Law in Edmonton, and my client, Mike Richard, is with me. And I appreciate the opportunity to make a presentation today for your review. Mike is the owner of the northwest of 679.7 and the northeast of 179.8. He is the president of 959117 Ltd, which owns the northwest of 179.8. I am assuming you have read the affidavit of my client that we filed on September 17th. At least I'm hoping that you have reviewed the affidavit. If what I will do, if you have not, is I'm going to attempt to highlight in the limited period of time that I have some of the areas that we want you to consider today. If you have not seen the property in question, I did yesterday. Construction has begun on the property at issue prior to today's hearing, as I will explain. Somehow a permit was issued before this hearing. Now, as a matter of background, Exhibit B of the affidavit are minutes from July 25th, 2023 of this learned chamber. For at least 2 years, this council has said that no steps would be taken respecting Range Road 80 pending litigation. What caused this? Jerry Richard's presentation was recorded in paragraph 5.1 of those minutes, which reads, Jerry Richard, resident, and Bruce Tatry with Bairstow and Associates Engineering and Survey were present at 10 a.m. to speak to reasons why an application has been made to cancel the road allowance lease 09-L-17. And just as a matter of background, that is the lease that relates to Range Road 80, which is partially at issue before us today. And at that hearing, the council made motion 430.07.25.23, which said that any requests regarding road allowance lease 09L17 be tabled until after the litigation proceedings regarding this lease are complete. So in the interim period of time, there have been other incidences that councillors are well aware of dealing with Range Road 80, and your council has understandably deferred to the fact that there is ongoing litigation. And now there seems to be a change. And it's mystifying to me as to why there is a change when the litigation is still pending. And I can speak to that very briefly, is that the litigation is at a stage where questioning has occurred, undertakings have been given, undertakings must be complete, so it is still a very active matter. Now, the litigation began in July of 2020, wherein Mr. Jerry Richard sued my client, Mike Richard, and also his brother, Ben Richard, plus this county and certain councillors, dealing specifically with Range Road 80 and Township 790. In paragraph 9 of Mr. Richard's affidavit, it refers to the fact that I wrote to this council on July 21st, advising or recommending that you should not proceed with agenda items relating to Range Road 80, given the fact that you would be dealing with that on July 22nd. And I referred to the previous motion that I just read out to you, 430.07.25.23. And yet the matter still went ahead. It was dealing with these lands as my client's lands are directly and adversely affected. Notwithstanding that, the council rescinded previous motions and went ahead and canceled without any consultation, really, with my client, lease 09-L-17. However, on July 22nd, council further passed motions 431.07.22.25 and 432.7.22.25 and 433.07.22.25, approving a proposal by council administration in respect to a partial road closure bylaw involving Range Road 80 as follows. 1. The proposal gets referred to Alberta Transportation to ensure that access to adjacent lands will not be affected, determine whether current and future landowners have legal access to the provincial transportation network, determine whether the road is required as part of the provincial transportation network, and to determine whether the road closure will be supported by Alberta Transportation and economic corridors. Secondly, after the proposal has been reviewed by Alberta Transportation, the municipality must then send the proposed road closure out to third parties, utility providers, adjacent landowner, and Alberta Environment and Parks for referral to ensure all third-party interests are protected by an easement or utility right-of-way agreement when the vacant land created by the road closure is disposed of, sold, consolidated, and titled. The recommended referral timeline from Alberta Transportation is a minimum of 30 days. Now, in Exhibit D of Mr. Richard's affidavit, this is the request for decision of July 22nd, and I just referred to what is the detail in there. What is curious is that in that request for decision from this council, it says, in order to close a portion of Range Road 80 for disposal, sale, the following steps need to occur before first reading can be given to a road closure bylaw. I believe that the CAO clarified that. It says in the Municipal Government Act, it says under section 22 sub 3 that no road may be closed by a bylaw of the council of a municipality that is not a city unless the bylaw is approved by the Minister of Transportation and Economic Corridors before it receives second reading. Now, I was listening to the comments of the CAO and I'm not clear as to whether or not Transportation and Economic Corridors has provided approval. And that certainly was not part of the evidentiary record, but I'm just raising that as a bit of a flag. Then, if you look at paragraph 15 of the Mr. Richard's affidavit, we sent a cease and desist letter to you respectfully on August 13th. I wrote the county again indicating that rescinding previous motions was unreasonable and in bad faith, depriving my client the opportunity to record an objection. Now, just as, again, a bit of background, if this council proceeds with the future road closure bylaw like this, based on the current scope of the road closure, this would effectively close down the majority of Range Road 80, which Mr. Richard has accessed for decades in order to maintain his farming operations on both sides of the current road allowance on Range Road 80. If the road closure is approved by this council, the closure will lead to significant economic loss for Mr. Richard, as he will be deprived of the ability to harvest his crops on the west side of the road allowance. For all intents and purposes, he will be shut out from any reasonable access, both from the area to the west of the portion of the lands west of the road allowance, as well as from the south. On August 7th, 2025, my client was asked to provide consent to this road closure, and he objected, quite understandably. The county has yet to provide a public interest need for this. Respectfully, I would appreciate knowing what the public interest is. Another portion of the affidavit reveals the following. My client first offered to purchase the lands in question in 2016. On September 5th, 2025, and it was rejected. He was told, just have a lease, the 09, the one that has now been terminated. So he was led to believe that that would be a certain degree of security. But now it has been terminated. On September 5th, 2025, my client offered the sum of $100,000, arguably 5 times the market value, to purchase that lease for the road allowance. This offer has yet to be accepted by the county, arguably to the detriment of Saddle Hills ratepayers. And I'm not sure if that really is in the public interest. Now, my client observed construction occurring on the lands on September 11th, and there are photos included in the affidavit that demonstrates the construction. My client would be happy to walk you through those photos if council would appreciate understanding a little bit more of where that is located vis-a-vis the road closure in question with respect to this bylaw. But if you look at tab M of the affidavit, it includes 2 permits with respect to construction. So this is before this hearing. 2 permits to construct that were issued 1 day after the pictures were taken. Now, my question is, has an interim inspection occurred? Paragraph 5 of the 1 permit says that Saddle Hills County will conduct interim and final inspections for the permitted areas. But it seems incredulous to me that a permit to construct is issued 1 day after clearly construction has begun, and those are evidenced in the pictures included in the affidavit. The second permit says that the permit holder's road construction must follow this county's standards, and that's reasonable. The permit holder must follow all provincial regulations, including Alberta Wetland Assessment and Alberta Environmental Protection Act, ensure all necessary easements are in place prior to commencement of construction, obtain all pipeline crossing agreements, and complete all road construction conditions identified by the pipeline owner, supply and install signs as per Alberta transportation specifications and standards, including all signage used during construction, and so on. I can say that when I viewed the property yesterday, I did not see any signs. As I said, I witnessed it directly. Paragraph 38 of Mr. Richard's affidavit pretty much sums up where we are very, very concerned as it relates to how this matter has been conducted. Mr. Richard says this: lastly, I am informed by Ackroyd LLP and believe that given A, the complete lack of any meaningful consultation to date between myself and the county in respect to the matters outlined in my affidavit, B, the county appears to have prematurely authorized Councillor Richard to undertake certain earthworks construction activity on Range Road 80 prior to second reading of the proposed bylaw 454, in which directly affected landowners will have the right to state their concerns and or oppose the proposed bylaws at the meeting. And C, there is no evidence that Mr. Richard or my legal counsel are aware of that Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors has provided an approval of the proposed construction of the modified local road on Range Road 80. Saddle Hills County may have exposure to liability for gross negligence and or misfeasance in public office. The case law suggests that elected officials need to advise themselves of what is the strict rule of law as it relates to matters of this sort, especially when it relates to directly unaffected landowners, such as Mr. Mike Richard. In 41 years of practice of law, I have never experienced a council taking a U-turn so dramatically and without consultation nor justification that it is in the public interest. In applying the statutes and principles espoused in case law to the facts that I have just reiterated, I am of the opinion that the officers of this council involved in the passing of the motions and currently involved in the review of this bylaw may most likely be found liable for the tort of misfeasance based on their conduct so far. It is evident that the proposed bylaw, if passed, will negatively impact Mr. Mike Richard's ability to access his lands. Nevertheless, the council failed to provide my client ample notice to attend the first reading of the bylaw. They also failed to notify him of the rescission of the bylaws, knowing very well the impact this would have on access to the lands. The Saddle Hills County also terminated his lease after they were notified by council not to table agenda item 430 concerning requests about the lease until the litigation proceedings are completed. Acting in bad faith, this council and administration have deliberately failed to heed to multiple requests from me on behalf of my client to desist from rescinding the motions and proceeded with the development of this particular bylaw, knowing very well the negative impact this bylaw would have on Mr. Richard. Given all of the foregoing, as I said, the litigation is still extant, very real and very raw. Given all of the foregoing, I would readily implore this council not to pass this bylaw and to respect the fact that this particular road is still involved in active litigation. With that, I would welcome any questions or comments. That completes my submission.
Thank you. With that, no comments. We will ask if anyone else would like to speak against the proposed bylaw 454/2025. Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tracy Richard, and good morning to everybody here. I am here today to express my opposition to the proposed road allowance closure bylaw 454/2025 on Range Road 80 north across the creek. This closure would primarily serve the interests of only one individual. Road allowances are meant to provide shared access, and closing this one would unfairly convert it into a private crossing. To my knowledge, the property in question already has a suitable access from the north. I can recall personally driving down in from that side and down the creek bank with my SUV after the snow had been plowed by Jerry Richard around 2008 or 2009. Given this access, I do not see a justification for granting another, particularly when the property is used mainly for recreational purposes. It's also worth noting that when the south portion of this road allowance was applied for as an agricultural use lease, 8 members of the public voiced opposition. It's concerning now that the creek portion of this road allowance on Range Road 80 is being considered for closure and sale. There seems to be less scrutiny or objection. For these reasons, I respectfully hope council does not approve this road allowance closure, as doing so would set a precedence of prioritizing individual benefit over the public interest. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Did council have any questions for her? No? Okay, is there anyone present online who would like to speak against the proposed bylaw 454/2025? Do you see anyone online? No? Okay, thank you. So with that, the public hearing for bylaw 454/2025 road closure bylaw is adjourned at 10:29 a.m. Okay, so we have another public hearing at 10:30, so I'll wait 1 minute just in case somebody else is planning to attend that. Yes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's a couple options after the public hearing in the RFD.
Okay.
Jerry's back. So he left before and now came back in.
Okay, so it's 10:30. Would someone like to make we should finish this public hearing, maybe RFD. So would someone like to make a motion following the public hearing? What? Yeah, yes, an option. Councillor Hoffert?
Option 1, please.
Okay. Is there any discussion on that motion? Proceed with option 1. Okay, you want to go, that's not the correct motion. It's, that's okay. everyone could just bear with us. We don't have our normal recording secretary. Fortunately, she had a family emergency, so. Okay, is this the motion that you wanted to make, Councillor Hoffer? Thank you. Deputy Hubert, would you like to speak to the motion?
I guess I'm just a little overwhelmed maybe with all the information that was provided today, and would really like the opportunity to review some of this stuff before making a decision. But
Councillor Hoffer, would you like to continue?
Yes.
Okay. So the motion still stands on the floor. Is there any other discussion? Councillor Armagost?
Yeah, I'm at the same point. There's a lot of information here that we have to get through, so feeling a little overwhelmed. I would like some more time to review, but that's where I'm at.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I will call the question. Oh, sorry, Deputy Hubert.
I don't know how we show a recorded, ask for a recorded vote or show a recorded vote.
So it'll
I
be,
think it's important.
yeah, it always is recorded and it'll be shown in the minutes and up on the screen once we vote. That's what you wanted? Yeah, as always, it's done that way.
I've been recusing myself from voting. I thought we were on the next.
Oh, okay. It does, you can say you're recusing yourself for pecuniary interest? Okay. Okay. So Councillor Richard will be abstaining from voting. Okay, with no more discussion, I'll call the question on the motion on the floor. All in favor? That's defeated. So would someone like to make a consequent motion to bring this to the next council meeting? Okay. Councillor Armagost.
I guess we need to make a motion to start with the microphone.
Yeah.
I don't really know the procedure, but I don't really know what's to bring to the next council meeting. By defeating this motion, doesn't this thing isn't it defeated by this? I don't know. I would like to hear Carrie's opinion, like what's to bring to the next council meeting? If we're not gonna send it off, does that not effectively kill this thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know either, so I don't know what my motion should be. Okay?
You certainly have the opportunity to discuss it further at a subsequent meeting. Bylaws are considered or let's say not in effect if there's no decision made within a 2-year period. Like if it didn't proceed to second or third reading, it's automatically just considered dead. If you want to consider further discussions, you can direct us to bring further information or bring it back to a subsequent council meeting at some point. And if you choose not to do that, then after a 2-year period, it dies. The bylaw will no longer be considered after, even though there's the first reading, if in second or third reading or second reading never proceeds, then it just doesn't exist.
Retract my motion, please. Can I do that? Just retract the motion.
Okay.
I don't want to bring it back.
Okay, so if there's nobody wants to make a subsequent motion, Then we will move on to the next public hearing as we're late for the start. So let's move on to bylaw 456, 2025, amendment to land use bylaw 430, 2024. So,
Hey, could we take a second?
yeah,
Okay, sorry.
yeah, that's fine. Bylaw 456-2025, amendment to land use bylaw 430, 2024 on September 23rd, 2025. The public hearing for bylaw 456, 2025, amendment to land use bylaw 430, 2024 will now come to order at 10:38 a.m. For anyone attending online, if you have registered prior to the meeting, we have you on the list to speak. If you did not register prior to the meeting, you'll have to raise your hand, and when given the opportunity, we will turn on your mic for you to speak. We remind all people attending virtually to please state your name prior to speaking to be recorded in the minutes. We would also like to announce that the audio of our council meetings and public hearings is now live streamed. Was the public hearing properly advertised?
Yes, Madam Chair, it was advertised September 2nd, September 9th, September 16th issues of the Central Peace Signal, as well as the county website and social media.
Thank you very much. Bylaw 456, 2025, amendment to land use bylaw 430, 2024. Will Mr. Merritt outline the proposed bylaw 456, 2025 and present this submission?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So on August 25th, 2025, Council gave first reading the bylaw 456, 2025 amendment to land use bylaw 430, 2025. Prior to proceeding with second and third readings, a public hearing must be held. The public hearing for bylaw 456, 2025 amendment to land use bylaw 430, 2024 was scheduled for today at 10:30. A written submission was received by Mike Richard regarding this bylaw as well. It was included in the previous written submission, and it was discussed at the public hearing at 10 o'clock, 10:01, and is attached to that public hearing submission. Other than that, Madam Chair, that's all that was received. Thank you.
Thank you. Does council have any questions regarding the proposed bylaw 456, 2025? No? Okay. Were any written submissions received in regard to the proposed bylaw 456, 2025?
Yes, Madam Chair, and it was included in the prior public hearing agenda.
Perfect. Okay, with that, anyone could have read them as they were a part of the agenda package. Is there anyone present who would like to speak in favor of the proposed bylaw 456, 2025? No? Okay. Is there anyone present online who would like to speak in favor of the proposed bylaw 456, 2025? No? Okay, thank you. Is there anyone present who would like to speak against the proposed bylaw 456, 2025? Excellent. If you could just state your name again, and then you have the floor to speak.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Chair and councillors. With respect to
Can you just state your name just for the record?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Bill McElhinney. I'm a lawyer with Ackroyd LLP in Edmonton.
Thank you.
You're
Sorry,
welcome.
continue.
My apologies. We're standing down in terms of our objection to 456.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, is there anyone present online who would like to, was there anyone else in person here that wanted to speak against it besides Mr. McElhaney? No? Okay. Is there anyone present online who would like to speak against the proposed bylaw 456-2025? No? Okay, excellent. With that, the public hearing for bylaw 456-2025 amendment to land use bylaw 430-2024 is adjourned at 10:41 a.m. Okay, so with that, we will go to motions to make a motion based on bylaw 456-2025. And Deputy Reeve Hubert.
Madam Chair, I would like to move second reading. In the last little while, I've heard of a few people who this could affect. Doesn't mean that we have to go to bigger acreages, but I've heard of a few guys who their yard is just a little bit bigger than 10 acres, and this is a good thing for them. So I'm very pleased to be able to move second reading, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion on the floor to move second reading of bylaw 456-2025. Any discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. Would someone like to move third reading be given? Councillor Armagost.
Yeah, same thing. I've had lots of comments. There's people with 12 and 14 acre yard sites, and if they're only allowed 10, they have to cut, they lose their west wind strip. So I'd be pleased to move third reading.
Excellent. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor by Councillor Armagost to move third reading of bylaw 456-25. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, that's carried unanimously. Okay, we will move on to councillor reports. So, Mr. Hoffer, would you like to start?
Got nothing, thanks.
Thanks. Councillor Roy, did you have any comments today?
Yes, I attended the Gordondale Community Club, and they kind of asked if the county was interested in doing some street lighting by the hall, and I said, you know, we are actually, funny you brought that up, because we were doing a trial at Bonanza, so I'm just curious where we're at with our street lighting project at Bonanza.
Mr. Polinsky, do you know where we're at on this?
I looked
with
in
the
your
street
report
lighting
and I
in
didn't see
Bay
nothing.
Have you heard anything?
Bonanza?
I mean Bonanza.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the street lighting in Bonanza, the solar lights, we did sign a contract with a supplier to supply and install them. We're just waiting on their schedule to come up and do that work.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I did bring it up when Alvin brought that up, that if it works out good, Gordondale would be nice to have it around our hall. So thanks.
Madam Chair, may I ask around, how many lights are we putting up? Do you remember?
Not 100% certain, but it's either 5 or 6 lights.
Two on the east side, and we think?
It's a little bit tight. We're still contemplating which side to go, because we got the water line on one side and the gas line and I believe TELUS on the other.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure out exactly where we want to place them.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Madam Chair.
No problem. Okay. Do you have any other things for today, Councillor Roy?
No, I'm done.
Thank you. Okay, Councillor Armagost.
I guess important thing in our community is the ice plant and building renewal, and the boys have found some poor concrete that probably was involved in installing in 1992, but they're working through it. So things are coming. I see the plant is all put together. It's in Cody's shop. So the decision was made not to put three-phase power in, but to use frequency drives. So that's where we're at with that project. Looks good. We'll see how it goes. Thanks.
Perfect. Councillor Richard, did you have any comments?
Oh, I think I'm all good. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Clapp.
I made my comments during CEO report, so nothing else.
Perfect, thank you. Deputy Hubert.
Madam Chair, looking forward to October the 4th. October the 4th in the evening is Friends of the Foundation, of Grand Spirit Foundation dinner in Grand Prairie. And I believe you had earlier committed to attending that dinner, and I'm looking forward to joining
October
you
4th.
you on that day with all of your council colleagues and our esteemed CAO. It will be a great night for Grand Spirit and for all the old folks' homes in the country.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay, is that all you had today?
You betcha. Oh, and I just want to say thank you to council for your support for the Cotillion Hall, and especially to councilors and Irene for being at the dinner. It was a great day, a great event for the community, and I think a great event for the big area. And also, somewhere down the road, there's going to be some Home Roots coming up, and I think Home Roots at the new hall will be amazing, and we would love to have people come visit.
Sounds awesome. Hoping with my new open schedule that I'll be able to attend.
There you go. That would be awesome.
Okay, so we had a Central Peace Water meeting. Me and Ed attended. It went fairly smoothly. I'm not gonna lie. Things actually went quite well. Little mediation necessary, but things are chugging along, and we gonna start looking into some management with the next council's representatives that come on. But everyone seems to be it was a very cohesive meeting, and everyone seemed to be getting along quite well. So that was refreshing and great. I have had a few different things pop up in my world. ATB in Bonanza is closing. The Bonanza Ag Society did not renew the contract to allow ATB to operate in their building. The people that currently, so they are looking for somebody to take on the ownership of that spot. ATB finds it a viable location with how busy they are and the amount of clients they have in the region, but they are looking for someone else to take that on. So I got a call from them saying, do you know anybody? So we have till November, I believe it is, but I have an email. I can forward it on to anybody that knows anybody of interest in a contact, but it would be too bad to lose in the community. They said it's mostly elderly people that appreciate the service, which it would be nice to maintain that. But anyways, just food for thought for everybody. Also, I forgot to mention at the last council meeting that we got a bunch of potatoes donated, and to the Central Peace Food Bank. I got a call from Steve Zimmerman from the county GP that there was a whole tote of potatoes that was going to get donated, and would Saddle Hills County be willing to take a tote to offer to people? So I was able to get in touch, and we got them delivered to the Central Peace Food Bank. So I want to thank Carrie and administration for last minute organizing, picking up this tote in Grand Prairie and delivering it. Also, had a chat with Alan Ritchie. He has been working for the county doing culvert cleaning, and he actually does kind of fixes culverts as well. And it's been actually a very good program. I don't know if Ron, you could speak to it at all. Alan is thinking about retiring, but he thinks that the program is well worthwhile, and that he says that administration has been quite impressed with what they can do to the culverts. They've been making their way across the whole county, and they kind of started in the Woking, that end, and they've been working their way across. Alan has as a contractor for the county. He actually built and engineered some tools that they use in order to fix culverts and clean them out. Now, he actually asked me if council would like to come and see how his tools work, because he thinks it's well worthwhile for the county to continue with the program, or to, once he retires, which he's planning on retiring soon, possibly do it in-house and take on these tools that he's got and stuff like that and pass them on to the county. So he said he's working in the Bonanza DeVale area, and he said he would get in contact with me. He was thinking either this week or next week, and invite council to come out and see him. He says it's pretty crazy how he can clean out a culvert and open them up. So, Ron, did you have any comments on this?
Yeah, I guess this is year 3 of our contract
Yeah.
with him and he keeps modifying his tools slightly as
Yeah.
he continues to work this program. So he's able to take the settlement out of the bottom of the culverts with this tool, reach inside. He doesn't reach all the way in, but he reaches a substantial amount, and then the rest gets washed out. And then any of the bends from the mowers or the graders, he's able to straighten that out
Yeah,
with a different tool, and they're all attached to his rubber tire backhoe.
yeah,
So it's been working good, and our culverts are way easier to steam in the spring, and most of them are flowing now, so it's been a beneficial program to the county.
yeah. So he just said that he felt that it was very beneficial to the county and it saved having to replace so many culverts and stuff like that by being able to do this program. So anyways, I'll pass along the invite, once I hear from him in case anybody wants to come and check out this. It's unfortunate by the time the next council gets in place, he'll probably be done for the season, to check this out. But, I think it's by the sounds of it, it's been a worthwhile program to do for the county, to prevent us having to replace so many culverts and, yeah, make it an ease of steaming and water running through them, so. I just wanted to mention that to all of council. And that concludes all of my thoughts. Yes, Councillor Hofford.
I know we discussed the Spirit, Grand Spirit thing, but is there any way you can get some information out to us on that? Thank you, because I probably will be attending as well.
Oh,
awesome.
well, I'm gonna be alone. We can go together.
Either that or I'll just bring the bus out here and everybody will jump in the bus.
There we go. That'd be fun. Reed will be on a mountain, so I'll be alone. Okay.
Hey, I just wanted to say, I should have mentioned this in my last report, but it's been a pleasure being on council, but I wanted to introduce, Lance Hingley. He is going to be the new councillor for the Bonanza area, for the Bonanza, Doe River, Cotillion area, and, I think he's gonna do a good job, and looking forward to what council will accomplish with him there, so welcome here today, Lance.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. It's an honor. Okay, so with that, is there any other comments? I will look for someone to move council reports. Oh, I got it, Mr. Hubert.
Oh, no, that was my last.
Okay, so, moved by councillor Hofford? Okay. Okay, not hearing any more discussion, I'll call the question, all in favor. Okay, it's carried unanimously. Let's discuss delegation of, Greg LaValle. So. Deputy Reeve Hubert.
We don't have any information. We don't know if he's on a road allowance. We don't know what he is. We think he's on this trail.
Can we-
need some information from administration in order to be able to make a proper decision.
Yes, so do you want to make a motion that administration bring back
Sure.
regarding,
Information regarding Mr. LaValle's request to the next council meeting.
sounds good. I agree, we need a lot more information in order to understand this. Yeah, well, or what kind of permits and things we would have to get in order to give him a road, because it is on Crown, and I'm assuming he didn't have a development permit for his place, so making sure that we know where it is and all the information about this. Or if there's even more place along this railway. Yeah, Councillor Hoffert,
He did say he has an address.
yes, he did.
So if he's got an address, is this not classified as a permanent residence? Or,
No, they're just, we've been providing them for 9/11 purposes.
okay,
Yep.
Okay, so with that, there's a motion on the floor from Deputy Reeve Hubert. And I'll call the question, all in favor. Okay, that's carried unanimously. Okay, with that, we'll go into closed session. So. No.
This is Amanda. What's Amanda? Fran? Oh, sorry, Fran. Sorry, Fran. Fran Hoyt.
Welcome. Welcome, we're happy to have you.
So she's officially sometime in December-ish or something?
You do have big boots to fill, though she's got small feet, but it's, she does carry quite a load.
She worked on quite a long time, PRV area, right, and all that. She lives in Dawson, right? Yeah.
Okay. Bringing in another BC person, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my lifestyle.
So we got two friends in the building now, Fran 1 and 2.
Nice.
So Don can go to
Okay, so with that, would someone like to make a motion that administration proceed as discussed in closed session? Oh, Councillor Klatt did.
Okay, perfect. Too late.
Being it's a closed session item, there's no discussion, so I'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried unanimously. Okay, information items. Was there anything anyone wanted to talk about that was included in information items? Or would someone like to move them?
Technical thing.
What?
With these NPC meetings that we're not having, you go to cancel them off the phone, it doesn't cancel. But that's okay, when I come back on the 21st and get everything all kicked out of my computer, then they'll do it for me. Just heads up.
Are we gonna be handing our timesheets next week?
Yeah.
It's nice of Linda to send that, thank you.
We only get paid 28 days for October.
That's okay. We'll give the other 3 to the new guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so with that, I'll call the question. All in favor? Yes, it was moved by Councillor Hofford. Councillor Hofford.
Yeah, mine was before.
Councillor Shar, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I know the last meeting, I asked a request about, the one thing that we had about some authorized ditching back in
Yes.
2019, and we're gonna look into it, so.
Yes.
Whatever happened there?
Yeah, Ron's told me that he had dealt with it and it's all complete, whatever he needed to do.
Yeah, so does that mean does that mean we did the work then, and that's what was supposed to happen? We were supposed to do the work and send the guy the bill.
Yeah, he went and inspected it and it was like, it didn't require any further issues on the county's part is what he told me, but that's all I can recall.
Okay, well, we can ask him at the next council
Yeah,
meeting. It's
maybe
not
a
really an
CO
information
report.
item.
But yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so with that, we have a motion from Councillor Hoffert. No discussion on information items? That I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, it's carried unanimously. With that, I'll adjourn the meeting at 11:21 a.m.